Depression. Sarah was always the life of the party, but after losing her job, she began to withdraw from friends and family. She felt hopeless, had trouble sleeping, and lost interest in hobbies she once loved. Despite their best efforts, her friends couldn't cheer her up. After months of struggling, Sarah sought help from a therapist and was diagnosed with depression. Through therapy and medication, she slowly began to feel like herself again. Depression is more than just feeling sad. It's a persistent state of low mood and loss of interest in activities. It affects how a person thinks, feels, and handles daily activities. This disorder is affecting more than 200 million people worldwide. Anxiety disorders. Mike always worried about his family and job, but his anxiety became overwhelming after he got promoted. He couldn't sleep, felt restless, and had frequent panic attacks at work. Avoiding social events due to fear of embarrassment, Mike knew he needed help. A visit to his doctor confirmed he had generalized anxiety disorder. With cognitive behavioral therapy, in CBT, and medication, Mike learned to manage his anxiety and regain control of his life. Anxiety disorders involve excessive worry or fear that interferes with daily activities. Common types include generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, panic disorder, and social anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders are the most prevalent type of mental health disorder, affecting approximately 30% of adults in the United States at some point in their lives. Bipolar disorder. Anna was known for her creativity and boundless energy during her manic phases, but these were often followed by crippling depressive episodes. She would start projects with great enthusiasm, only to abandon them when her mood plummeted. Her unpredictable behavior strained her relationships and work. Bipolar disorder is characterized by extreme mood swings, including manic, high energy, and depressive, low energy episodes. Anna was diagnosed with bipolar disorder after being hospitalized during a particularly severe manic episode. With a combination of mood stabilizers and therapy, she found stability and balance in her life. Schizophrenia. John started hearing voices and believed people were plotting against him. His bizarre behavior and paranoid thoughts worried his family, who convinced him to see a psychiatrist. Diagnosed with schizophrenia, John began treatment with antipsychotic medication and supportive therapy. Over time, he learned to manage his symptoms and lead a more stable life. Schizophrenia is a severe mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves, often causing them to lose touch with reality. Schizophrenia is a severe mental disorder that affects approximately 1% of the global population. This means that about 1 in 100 people will experience schizophrenia in their lifetime. Paranoia. Lisa believes her colleagues are constantly talking about her behind her back, despite no evidence supporting her fears. Paranoia can be a symptom of various mental health disorders, including schizophrenia and paranoid personality disorder, affecting about 1% of the population with severe cases. Paranoia is characterized by persistent and irrational mistrust or suspicion of others. Individuals with paranoia often believe that others are plotting against them, spying on them, or intending to cause them harm, despite a lack of evidence. This mistrust can lead to social isolation and significant distress. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. Emily couldn't leave the house without checking the stove multiple times, fearing she'd left it on and caused a fire. This ritual, among others, consumed hours of her day and left her exhausted. When her compulsions started interfering with her job, she sought help from a mental health professional. Diagnosed with OCD, Emily underwent exposure and response prevention, ERP therapy and medication, which helped her regain control over her life. OCD involves unwanted, intrusive thoughts, obsessions, that lead to repetitive behaviors, compulsions, aimed at reducing anxiety. OCD affects 1 to 2% of the population. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD. A 7-year-old struggles with understanding social cues and has repetitive routines, but excels in memorizing facts about trains. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental condition affecting communication, behavior, and social interaction, varying widely in severity. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, affects approximately 1 in 54 children in the United States, with symptoms varying widely in severity and presentation. Sleep disorders. Sleep disorders encompass a range of conditions that disrupt normal sleep patterns and negatively impact overall health and daily functioning. For example, Jane struggles with insomnia, finding it hard to fall asleep and frequently waking up throughout the night. This leaves her feeling exhausted and unfocused during the day. Sleep disorders affect about 50 to 70 million adults in the U.S., significantly impacting physical health, mental well-being, and daily life. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. After serving in combat, Tom struggled with vivid flashbacks and nightmares. He avoided crowded places and loud noises, which reminded him of the battlefield. His relationship with his family deteriorated as he became increasingly irritable and withdrawn. PTSD develops after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event. Symptoms include flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, and uncontrollable thoughts about the event. With the support of a veterans group and trauma-focused CBT, Tom learned to manage his PTSD symptoms and reconnect with his loved ones. Attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Jake was always fidgeting in class, unable to focus on his schoolwork. His impulsivity often got him into trouble, and his grades suffered despite his intelligence. ADHD is characterized by patterns of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity that interfere with functioning or development. It is estimated to affect approximately 5% of the global population, including both children and adults. It is one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders. After an evaluation, Jake was diagnosed with ADHD, with a combination of behavioral therapy, organizational strategies, and medication. Jake improved his academic performance and behavior. Eating disorders. Lily, a perfectionist obsessed with losing weight, severely restricted her food intake and exercised excessively despite being underweight. After an intervention, she was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa and began recovery with therapy and nutritional counseling. Eating disorders are serious mental health conditions characterized by unhealthy eating behaviors and an intense focus on body weight. The three most common types are anorexia nervosa, extreme food restriction, and distorted body image; bulimia nervosa, binge eating followed by purging; binge eating disorder, eating large amounts of food quickly without purging; personality disorders. Personality disorders involve enduring patterns of behavior, cognition, and inner experience that deviate markedly from cultural expectations. These patterns are inflexible and pervasive, leading to significant distress or impairment. David struggled with intense mood swings and unstable relationships, often fearing abandonment. His impulsive actions and difficulty maintaining stable relationships led to a diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, BPD. With dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, David learned to regulate his emotions, build healthier relationships, and improve his self-image. Substance use disorders. Maria started drinking socially, but over time, her alcohol consumption escalated. She began drinking alone, missing work, and neglecting her responsibilities. Her family grew concerned as her health deteriorated. Admitting she had a problem, Maria entered a rehabilitation program. Through detoxification, counseling, and support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, Maria achieved sobriety and regained control of her life. Substance use disorder, SUD, is a significant public health issue, impacting around 20 million adults in the United States annually. This condition involves the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol, illicit drugs, and prescription medications, leading to significant impairment or distress. Understanding mental disorders is essential for reducing stigma and fostering empathy. Each disorder presents unique challenges, but with proper treatment and support, individuals can lead fulfilling lives. If you or someone you know is struggling with a mental disorder, seek professional help. Mental health is just as important as physical health, and there's no shame in reaching out for support. Together, we can create a more supportive and inclusive society for everyone facing mental health challenges.